More money, more problems. A phrase we all know and love, but something that is very misunderstood. Hi, I'm Nathan, and in honor of Suicide Prevention Month, NNterprises and Mental Health America are teaming up to raise awareness about mental health issues, as well as share some experiences that helped me learn a lot about myself as well. With all the stories about mental health issues coming out on celebrities, athletes, and people who just seem to have it all, it's hard for us normal civilians to look at these issues and understand. So hopefully you guys can take something out of this and see the world in a different light. To learn more about mental health, how you can help, check out our link in the video description below to see how you can get involved. So first off, just so you know, I have no medical background, no psychology background. I may use the incorrect terms. I am not here to diagnose anybody, but I have a very good sense of people. So I am here to share my experiences just to kind of start the conversation, and hopefully you guys can take something out of it and maybe see the world differently. I'm sure you heard the phrase, money can't buy you happiness. This is a phrase I heard all the time, but I could never get behind it. I could never understand. I didn't grow up with too much, so I pretty much was like, money can literally solve all my problems. I would pay all my bills, I could live wherever I wanted, travel, I could eat whatever I wanted, be with whoever I wanted. It was just a happier life in my opinion, and no worries, no stress. I could never really see the flaws in having more money. So I'm from nowhere land, Pennsylvania, Pottstown, middle class. Never really had a high class power circle that I was involved in. But now as a result of my endeavors, I have been connecting with multiple billionaires of South Florida. So on the side, I actually drive luxury rideshares down here in the Palm Beach area, and that's how I've been connecting with some of these people. I learn a lot, but probably because they're stuck in the car, forced to have a conversation with me. But what I'm picking up is, yes, money can make your life a lot easier, but can it really buy you happiness? Sometimes the more money that these people do have, the more depressed they are. More money, more depression. I first became interested in this subject in high school when we studied the poem Richard Cory by Edwin Arlington Robinson. It was a poem about a guy who seemed to have it all. Everybody wanted to be like, everybody loved, but in the end he ended up killing himself. It was very eye-opening, it was very confusing, made you think, and just opened my eyes. And then the untimely deaths of Robin Williams, Chester Bennington, and other popular, talented people who also seem to have it all really just started to get to me. And I actually looked into this a lot more and did some research, and there are so many beautiful, talented, popular people that recently also took their lives that I haven't even heard the stories of. So it's a serious issue, and as a normal civilian on the outside, we look at this and we're like, these people have everything. How can they really have a bad life? If I was in that situation, no way I would end up like that. And who knows? But the point of this video is, no matter what you see from the outside, how great people's lives look on social media and all that, you really don't know what people are going through. I've had a lot of people close to me struggle with mental health and suicide, and it just sucks. And if I am lucky enough to have you in my life still, I just want you to know that I care about you and I'm here for you. So now for what I learned from driving around rich strangers. First guy I want to talk about, he's from Lake Worth. He moved out to Texas to help develop a software company that grew into a $20 billion empire. When I picked him up, he's a super great guy, but he was just so wasted, and he was just ready to rant and spill everything to me. So I got a lot out of him and learned a lot. So he seemed like a very normal guy. You would have never known he had money until learning about his life. Late 30s, dressed, put together looking, but not super flashy or like reaping the booze. But he moved back to Florida to help take care of his sick mom. First thing he started talking about was how weird it was to be back after 10 years or something, and with all his hometown people coming up to him by name like he never left, which he actually hated. He did not like that at all. He talked about how he preferred to be in a new town where nobody knew who he was. He didn't see anybody he knew, which is definitely understandable. Different vibes for sure, but I also got the vibe that he wanted people in his life. He just needed the right people. He talked about how he would always invite his friends from Texas to visit Florida with them, but even though he would pay for everything, set everything up, his friends always just had an excuse of why they couldn't come. He talked about his bond with his family, it not being where he wanted it to be. He hasn't talked to his family in a while, and he recently tried to reach out to his sister, and she just didn't want to connect. His family didn't understand his lifestyle anymore. He talked about needing a girlfriend and all that, and then he just went on a super drunk rant on the drive-thru at Checkers, why it was so packed on the late night. Anyway, this guy had a lot of valid concerns and issues that all of us can kind of relate to when we look at it. And the billions that he had really made no difference and couldn't help him out of it. So someone can have all the money in the world, but it's just not worth it if they can't connect or share life with the people that they need. The more you have to offer, the more you try and fill the hole with material things, the harder it is to be satisfied with the things that actually matter. And we are all just still people, and it's human nature to need this connection and experience these things. So he was more self-made with a different background, and the next one here was more born into it all. So I got this notification, pick up a girl on Palm Beach Island. She was about my age, blonde, all gussied up and all that, just drinking alone on a Tuesday night at a Palm Beach bar, and you could definitely tell that this one had money. So her family came from a long line of Russian billionaires. Whole life living in mansions, growing up with butlers, chauffeurs, and all that. So she gets in my car, right, and she has her glass of tequila and everything. And I'm like the normal, hey, how's it going? How's your night doing and whatnot? And she's like, oh, it's good. And then out of nowhere, she just starts bawling. That part's not funny. It's just thinking about my awkwardness, dealing with these situations, like, oh, come on, you. It's okay. So yeah, she started going on about her life, how she came to America for her billionaire New Yorker boyfriend or something, and they just broke up, which was her wake-up call. She hasn't heard from him in months, and now she's stuck in America alone. And growing up, she only had all these maids and chauffeurs and her parents and everybody do things for her, and now she doesn't know how to do anything, and she's all alone. And she was saying how she lives in regret of how she used to treat these people who were helping her, and now she has no one there for her. And anyone who has been involved in her life was always there to get something out of her, always there to take advantage of her, and that made it always very difficult for her to trust or build real connections with anybody. But yeah, she now blew all her ties because she did not value any of these relationships, and now she's struggling to hold on to life. She was talking about how it's not worth it for her to live anymore. Not really sure where to go from with that, but she was a really great person, and it just took a lot of big life changes in order for her to realize what really did matter in life. But yeah, we talked it out, and she ended up doing just fine. I think we can all relate, but I think she just wanted food also. We ended up going to the McDonald's drive-thru, and she got 2 quarter pounders, all housed them by herself. She's like this big. But yeah, treat people well and be grateful for the people in your life, and your money's just not going to be there for you, is the moral of that one. So from an outsider, no matter how good these people look, no matter how put together, how many people are kissing the ground that they walk on, these people are still human, and people's lives may not always be as they seem from the outside. Speaking of how people look on the outside brings me to this next couple. No clue what they did or their background, honestly, but they just like ooze bouginess, and they look like they were directly from a modeling yacht catalog and all that stuff. But yeah, I did learn that the guy was born and raised Palm Beach Island. The girl dated politicians, but that's all I did know. They were good people, grateful of me picking them up, easy to get along with, easy to converse with. But yeah, then they started fighting in the back seat, all because of how society perceived them. That seemed to be what it was based off of. The girl was coming at the guy saying, "Oh, why didn't you stick up for me? You saw her give me the look all night. I was about to I was about to take my heel and put it through her shins, but I didn't want blood on my Valentinos. The guy, being a typical guy, was caught dumbfounded, of course, and he had no clue what was going on or what to say. And then she was like, why did we even have to go to that trash place? We obviously didn't belong. It was Boca Raton. It was not like I picked him up in the hood or anything. It seemed like a nice place to me, if I don't know anything. But then the guy said the thing that hit me. I wanted us to be the prettiest people for a change. I didn't want to compete to feel good about ourselves like we have to do in Palm Beach. And then I was like, eesh, because I was just there eavesdropping the whole time. Yeah, these were gorgeous people, and I have no clue who they were competing with. But the comment like that shows the constant societal pressures that these people are under, and just kind of shows me that they weren't actually happy. The pressures that these people face take a huge toll on mental health, and just because these people look like they have it all together, that means nothing. And this constant pressure and criticism does not help at all. Yeah, and speaking of that, I'm filming this during the Simone Biles Olympics gymnastics thing, and she's dropping out to focus on her mental health or whatever. It's pretty new. I don't know too much about it, but you just gotta let her be. You just gotta quit hating. Just people have these things that they gotta deal with, and you're not a part of it. Just because she's in the position that she's in, and just because she's the strongest and best physically, doesn't mean that she has to survive these mental hardships that she's going through. Mental health is just as important as physical health, if not more. You don't know how hard it was to get there. You don't know how many pressures you actually have to face when you do make it there. But let people decide for themselves what's best for them, and they don't have to explain anything. But yeah, so anyway, I don't know about this next guy, but since we're talking about society life of public figures, I have this repeat customer. He's a cool dude. He's the owner of an entertainment and event company, so he organizes all these events, parties, music festivals, and all that. High-profile people in the limelight, surrounded by crowds in his work life, but he actually seems to have nobody in his personal life. Single guy. I'm always taking him out to places alone, golfing. He goes out to eat at places alone. Just a different perspective than what I'd expect, honestly. So he's talking about COVID and how it messed up his business, and he lost a lot. Starting to come back and all, but still struggling with that. Just broke up with his girlfriend of 5 years, struggling on that end as well. He also seemed real nervous and had a lot of excuses of why his Jaguar F-Type wasn't upgraded from 2016 yet. Like I cared. I'm impressed by anything, but it was probably just another societal pressure thing that he deals with all the time. But yeah, whenever I see him, he's just like this aimless shell of a man, you know? No, it's not that bad, but it's hard to describe. Like last time I dropped him off at a place he's been to a lot, he just aimlessly walked around in circles. And I was like, hey, you all right? You doing good? He was actually looking for the new rooftop places, and so they were a couple blocks down. And I was like, hey, no, you're good. I'll take you if you want to come. And he was just super appreciative. Like no one's ever done anything for him before. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this one much, and I'm probably just ranting again. But yeah, I just expect a person so heavily involved in all these different celebrations would have a different personal life, a different circle of people, kind of like a Great Gatsby experience or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was great when he was super appreciative. That's how I am with everyone. I never really expect anything out of anyone, and used to kind of getting screwed over here and there. So the little things that people do hit me hard. Like this other guy, my boy. He's a commercial real estate developer in Miami. Coolest guy you ever meet. I picked him up alone from a restaurant in Miami. He was just like super appreciative. I was like, sir, this is my job. You're paying me. Like But yeah, he was just telling me about his life, how he's been helping people, changing lives, and he was like, life is about the partnerships and connections you make. If you do things for people just to hold it over your heads and get something out of it, you'll never be able to grow into a fulfilling life. But then I missed my turn going to drop him off. Miami has all these roads closed all over the place, and it's like $5 per mile on Premier, and So I was just panicking. I was ruining his day or whatever. But he was like, "Oh, no worries. It's perfectly fine. Now we can keep this great conversation going." And he was just so cool. And so I reached out the next day. I was like, "Hey, man, it's your driver. I just want to say I meet a lot of people in this world, and you are one of the best. Just keep doing you, and we need a lot more people like you in this world." I don't know why I do these things, but if I was in his position, I am just super appreciative of gratefulness and recognition like that. So even though he was a super busy guy and I'm just a lowly rideshare guy, he responded right away. And I think he was actually surprised that I even reached out to him. Yeah, and he was just above and beyond grateful for me just being kind to him. You never realize these little things you say to people can make their day and maybe even change their outlook on life in general. You don't know what they're going through or what's going on actually in their heads. So just remember to be kind and considerate of everybody. So yeah, I'm unsure how his mental health actually was. He was probably doing just fine, but this over-appreciation syndrome is something pretty close to me. Some people will go above and beyond for anyone and expect nothing in return, and just a genuine appreciation and recognition of who they are really just kind of means the world to them. Just because a person is at a certain position in life, status, wealth, they have this societal stigma put on them that is hard for them to keep up with. People see you as just having everything. Everything is easy for you. So many people have it worse, so you can't show any weakness or negative emotions. When you're on top of the world, you're the cream of the crop. So anything weighing you down, you just have to bottle it up, brush it off, and hide it from the rest of the world. I never understood how some of the happiest people I met don't have anything. They just kind of see it differently, appreciate the small things and the people they have in their life. Sometimes the more you have, the less fulfilling your life actually is. You may be unsatisfied with your life, and when you actually make it somewhere financially, you still have that same feeling and you just don't know where to go next. You've worked so hard to get out of your rut just to be back where you started, but now without a clue of where to go next or what your problem even is. So before you judge someone's life based on how they have it or what they're showing life to be on the outside, just take a step back and remember that we're all human and to treat all people with respect and kindness. It's much more fulfilling to have good people in your life to connect with because money cannot buy you happiness. Thank you all for your time. I don't know how much I help, but if you are looking to get more involved or learn more about Mental Health America, see the link in the description below. Reach out anytime to any of our affiliate contacts for feedback, comments, or if you just want to reach out and have somebody to talk to. We're here anytime. Thank you.